So way back when NetherRealm was rolling out character reveals and trailers, Captain Cold came about, and I'm pretty sure I was not the only one saying, Captain who? Among the landscape of DC heroes and villains, Captain Cold is about as B-list as you can get. And unless you've been watching Arrow or The Flash on CW, then Injustice 2 would be many people's first introduction to the character, myself included. Naturally, this is not NetherRealm's first take on an ice-themed character, so I was curious to see how Captain Cold would change things up. And I don't know why I got my hopes up. Captain Cold is a train wreck. So remember in my Aaron Black video how I was stressing the importance of firing poses? To recap briefly, a successful gun character in a fighting game will make use of clear, readable firing poses to distinguish one gun attack from another. So what's Captain Cold's problem? His firing poses are boring! Would it kill you to widen your stance just a little? Keeping your feet apart and lowering your stance even just the slightest bit would make you look more like you're ready to run and gun and less like you're waiting in line at Starbucks. The other problem is that Captain must have developed some sort of disturbing and familial attachment to that gun because he refuses to let that thing go further than 2 feet from his body. Considering the size of the gun, this makes for some of the worst silhouettes I have ever seen. Which gets even worse when you stand him backwards because fuck the stance switch button. All this gun-hugging and lazy standing makes it look like Captain Cold doesn't even care what he's doing. Look, I did some reading and I know that Captain Cold isn't military or he doesn't even have any basic firearms training. That doesn't mean you can animate him looking like he has no idea what he's doing. Or if the intent was to make the character look like an amateur, there's much more fun and interesting ways to animate that than just having him standing around hugging a gun. So what would I do differently? Well, he doesn't have the problem of Aaron Black's tiny baby revolvers. The ice gun is big enough and reads pretty well in silhouette, which is why it's stupid that he keeps it so close to his chest at all times. Posing the gun to be away from his chest makes the gun easier to see in silhouette, which also helps distinguish what move is what. Here's my take on the ice wall attack. I made him step back to give his arm room to draw out the ice wall. As for the meter burn version, I forgot about this dumb little baby kick. Look, if you don't have time for a kick, then don't do a kick. A little extra blast from the gun should be fine. I do want to add that there is one thing I found that is salvageable with Captain Cold. He's got a few moves where he bashes you with his gun, and they're not awful, really. But I noticed that anytime he fires his gun, it starts emitting this icy mist that lasts a few seconds. While the mist is going, Captain's gun bash attacks leave behind trails of mist that neatly draw out the arc of his swings. I've always personally been a fan of visible weapon trails, and this little touch actually looks really nice. I kinda wish this mist effect happened every time he swung for the sake of visual clarity and stylized motion. And before I close out, I just want to touch on a little pet peeve I've had since Mortal Kombat X. Can we cut it out with this using a special move to travel an easily surmountable distance nonsense? There's literally no reason Captain couldn't have just used his knees to spring up into this shoulder tackle. Yes, I know he has a gear move that expels vapor to charge forward with a body slam, and no, I do not have the time to farm loot boxes for it. But if you look at the effects of the attack chain, that's not vapor, that's a beam. Using your gun to fly forward 30 feet in 2 seconds, fine. Using your gun to fly forward 2 feet? No. This has always bothered me since I saw Liu Kang use his dragon kick to move back like 10 feet. Like, seriously, it's a special move, not a mode of transportation. You don't see Ryu and Ken using a hurricane kick to make their daily commute. Just cut it out already. I honestly don't know what anyone was expecting out of Captain Cold. If the intent was to make him look inept, bored, and clueless, then that's what we got. But for many people, this is their first time with the character, and I don't think anyone is impressed. I didn't think it was possible, but they made a lame character even lamer. And that wraps up today's A.B.I.torial. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more anime and game content from SugarPunch. And if you feel like talking it out, crack open a cold one and leave a comment on your thoughts on Captain Cold. Be sure to leave a tip on our Patreon for early access to our future videos. I'm A.B.I., and next time, it's time to go fast.